survived.
I agree with all of that. I have had enough personally of cancel culture
Enough.
about 3 years ago. So, you're preaching to the choir
Yeah,
here.
I think it's done. I think it had its moment there. But you take from it the good things, right? Like, there was in this town, there was a lot of mistreatment of women and grabbing, butts and hands or things that are very casting couch types of things. And I think movie sets and TV sets have changed in a major way for the better. They needed to.
Have you watched the Nickelodeon documentary yet?
We've
Quiet on
covered it
Set.
a lot. I've gone through so much of it. I didn't watch it cover to cover, but I'm very aware of Quiet on Set. Yeah.
What do you, yeah, you guys have covered it. What do you think of all of that? And I mean,
Oh, my heart sinks for Drake Bell, especially. Like, I have to tell you, not just in Hollywood. I think abuse of that kind with kids, I think it's way more rampant than people know. Drake Bell had the courage to say something, but think of all the people that can't bear to cross that threshold of shame, and it's too scary. And I think the more I hear these conversations, the better, I think everyone else is, because there's a lot of healing that needs to be done.
I think so too. What about you? You mentioned, we talked about cancel culture and you mentioned the word trafficking. I think immediately of like Diddy and the recent charges on Diddy and the sex trafficking. Like, I mean, are
Yeah.
you shocked at this? Like, you've been doing this forever. Like, does any story
Yeah,
shock you at this point?
I mean, the allegations are sordid, and they're they're criminal, and he's in a lot of trouble. And at least it's always about, you hear one and you always wonder, like, where the trajectory of this will be decided on how many others there are. And now, there's at least a handful, right? So that's never good. I think his empire is not only crumbling, but it's going to be very hard to recover. He keeps saying that he's under a witch hunt, but they better start coming back with evidence to that nature, because we're just getting hit over and over again with things that are searing. Right? It's going to hard to turn this thing around if you don't go right away.
Yes. Have you heard things? Because, like, I mean, I've heard, I mean, you are on a much more grand scale than me, but like, I've heard things throughout the years from people that knew him, or, I'm not shocked. I've
Yeah, that
heard
he had
things.
freak parties. That he had freak parties. That to me, I thought that was. I didn't have any evidence or know anybody who was there. Certainly never there myself or anything like that. But he had white parties in the Hamptons too. He had lots of decadent parties at Cipriani's in New York, and I always thought of him as more of a decadent guy, not a perverse guy.
Yeah. Yeah, Diddy's white party in the Hamptons. I am
Oh,
in the Hamptons over the summer. That's where I am all summer. That was a thing,
that's a ticket. You want to go to that? Not now.
Yeah. Not now. Or when you speaking of the Masked Singer, nobody judged. They judged around, a lot of the judges, Seacrest kind of does what you do, Andy Cohen, like they came kind of close to your
Yeah,
genre.
they sniffed around the area with Andy Cohen, Anderson Cooper, Seth Meyers, and Ryan Seacrest were the four guesses. So I figured, okay, well, at least now when the mask comes off, they'll get oh, okay, we were close. We were in the right neighborhood, but didn't get, I thought it heightened the reveal.
I think it heightened the
And
reveal.
I'd like to apologize to all four of those fine men right now.
Well, you said when you were on Masked that you can't sing, but you held your own.
Not bad, right? Not bad. But also, that's a pretty sing-songy kind of safe song. They didn't give me, you know, anything too difficult.
No, but it still was. Listen, you did better than I could have, Billy. So let's just put it that
I don't
way.
know about that, David. I don't know about that. Let's hear you. Let me hear you hum a little bar.
There's no tune here at all whatsoever. I
Okay.
apologize to anyone who's ever heard me sing. What do you feel, so much lately has been about Kate Middleton also. We had weeks and weeks of where is she? Now we, learn that she has cancer. Like, what do you feel about the whole overarching Kate Middleton?
Well, my heart aches for her. She's a young mother, and I think she's a very classy woman. And she's got prying eyes all over her. I think the palace with the what is it, the 600 years of experience with people wanting to know your business. They couldn't have handled it. They could have handled this a little bit better in that, some transparency up front. But I think Kate sitting down in the, and making that video and speaking directly to people stops it in its tracks. And there's plenty of journalists who are thinking, well, what kind of cancer and what stage is it in? And all these other things that she didn't answer. But she finally, spoke from her heart, and I think made the point that some details need to be for her. And that's enough for me. So I say back to Harry and Meghan.
I made a joke the other day, I mean, not at her expense, but like someone's like, Meghan must be like, remember me? Because I mean,
hello, keep talking about me. I said, well, Harry looks a little smarter now. Everyone's mad at Harry for abandoning the family and throwing them under the. You say, you kidding me? Of course I'm in Montecito because I can go to the farm shop and they don't follow me, amazingly.
exactly. Do you think, because like, look, now we know, and of course, like an illness is an illness, like that's real life. But prior to that, like there's so many people now apologizing. Like I saw Blake Lively just apologize a few days ago. Like, do you think like we as like a media, no, I don't mean me and you, just in general, like, do you think we did anything wrong? Because we were all doing our jobs per se up until we knew.
Well, yeah, no, I think the media is doing exactly what the media is supposed to do. There's no blaming that. I think the palace has tons of experience. They should have handled this way better and come out and sort of said, hey, listen, this is what's going on here. And blast it. They're going to be there. So don't leave breadcrumbs. Just be as transparent as you can. And then everybody kind of buzzes off, But speaking of apologies, boy, whether to give one or not is the big question. It all depends on who you are. If you're 50 Cent, not a chance. It's not his brand. Nobody wants it from him. He'd look weak if he did, and then other people, it's like, you better apologize or your career's done. So it's an algorithm I don't quite understand, but it's different rules for different people.
You think so, right? Like a 50 Cent.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, 50 Cent is the perfect example of someone who's, never going to apologize. Never.
I never quite thought about it like that, but you're right. Like it is kind
And
of
if he did,
different
I think people
roles.
would be like, whoa, man, you caved?
Right. That's a good point. You also sang the theme song to Married with Children. Are you like, what are your, like, do you watch TV? Like, do you have, like, The Masked Singer is such a guilty pleasure for so many people. Do you have guilty pleasures when it comes to TV?
I love TV. I think there's so much